The TV1 News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening. Welcome to TV1 News. I'm Maricela Kelaton.
And I'm Rex Lita.
The Wantok Bosco Camp recently united nearly 200 participants from Don Bosco parishes, schools and institutions around Port Moresby and the Gulf Province. Held from June 21 to 23 at Don Bosco Technical Secondary School in Gabutu, the camp centered on the theme, The Dream That Makes You Dream.
The camp began last Friday evening with registration and icebreakers. Father Gilbert, parish priest of MHOC Hia, commended the youth leaders for their dedication. Father Gregory Bicomand, SDB, the provincial superior for PG's Vice Province, delivered a thought-provoking talk emphasizing the importance of dreams and a strong relationship with God. Saturday started at 4:30 a.m. with energetic games. Dr. Anna Totti from Port Moresby General Hospital gave a talk on mental health, focusing on resilience and coping mechanism. Participants engaged in team-building exercises and community service, cleaning the DBTS campus and Mary Help of Christians Parish, Sabama. Dr. Ambrose Pereira highlighted the eco-friendly cleanup efforts. Principal Martin Dai, a pioneer student of DBTS, encouraged participants to dream like Don Bosco. The day ended with a vacation talk by Father Shaw Matthew, SDB, followed by a lively evening of songs, dramas, and dance. Sunday began with a holy mass presided by Father Mosi Palokau, SDB, whose holy encouraged everyone to be a source of help in times of need. The camp concluded with live music, dancing, and lunch. Student Silas Combio Jr. shared his inspiration from learning about Don Bosco's dream. As the camp ended, participants departed with mixed emotions, ready to share their experiences and newfound knowledge with their communities. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
4 police officers attached to NCD Central Command were served with their administrative charges last week by the National Capital District Internal Investigation Unit. 2 of the officers were slapped with further criminal charges.
Acting Commander of NCD Central Assistant Commissioner of Police Peter Guinness confirmed that the 3 officers are attached to the NCD Command and 1 is under the Central Command. He said 2 of the police officers were arrested and charged with the willful murder of late Constable Vianney Yambinaro on June 15, 2024. They are detained in the police cell awaiting their court dates. ACP Guinness added that of the 3 NCD police officers, 1 is attached to the Criminal Investigation Division. That officer was issued additional charges under the Firearms Act for misplacing a police-issued firearm that was in his possession. The officer was also served with 2 administrative charges. ACP Guinness, while commending the NCD Internal Investigation Unit for their effort in dealing with the 4 policemen, he said the unit will continue to do its job to make sure the policemen and women in the command do not step out of line when performing their duties. He said the police officers who are arrested and charged criminally will prove their innocence in court. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
The Supreme Court has dismissed the application by Jerry Singirok for leave to review the decision of the National Court challenging Ramsey Pariwa's win in the 2022 National General Elections.
Supreme Court Judge Justice Derek Hudson dismissed Jerry Singert's application being in breach of Order 5 Rule 10C of the Supreme Court Rules 2012. The applicant failed to briefly state the nature of the case as required by Order 5 Rule 10C of the Supreme Court Rules. The court relied on the case of Dollar v. Alua 2023 that despite Form 5A not providing a space for the nature of the case to be pleaded, it is mandatory under Order 5 Rule 10C of the Supreme Court Rules 2012 to state the nature of the case in the application for leave to review. The applicant failed to state the nature of the case, so the case was dismissed. Lawyer representing Parua, Martin Combry, said Singerot's petition in the National Court was about errors and omissions. Combry said it was before the court that the petitioner, Singerot, had proved some errors and omissions committed by officers of the Electoral Commission during the counting and scrutinizing process. However, it did not establish whether they had any materials that affects the result of the elections, which resulted in the Madang National Court on the 23rd of August 2023 dismissing the petition.
At least identify the persons involved, that's one requirement. Two, the errors and omissions that were, the conduct that were alleged to be errors and omissions. And three, those resulted in the results being affected, the final results being affected. Those were not established at the National Court. Therefore, the court dismissed the petition. Okay, there are certain criteria you have to meet before to file the application for leave to review. One of which is you have to state the nature of the case. Under the Supreme Court rules, you have to state the nature of the case. Here, they failed to state the nature of the case.
Combry said now that the court has dismissed Singerot's application, they will now wait for the decision on Yama's objection to competency application that was heard by the Supreme Court. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
Kumul Petroleum Holdings has awarded a contract to Oilmin Holdings Limited to conduct seismic work in 2 petroleum retention licenses where KPHL is the operator. The contract was signed by Oilmin's General Manager, Fintan Lalo.
Kumul Petroleum Holdings has awarded a seismic contract to Oilmin Holdings Limited to explore the Kimu and Barikewa fields in the Gulf and Western provinces. The contract, valued at 79 million kina, is almost equally split between the 2 licenses. KPHL's Managing Director Wapu Sonk says this contract award is the next step in their management of the petroleum retention licenses awarded to KPHL by the Department of Petroleum and Energy. KPHL has engaged Oilmin to shoot 79 kilometers of seismic in 6 lines over the Kimu and Barikewa fields in Gulf and Western provinces. Sonk highlighted that this is the first time a national company has engaged in petroleum exploration in PNG, aiming to gather more data on existing petroleum resources, increase confirmed oil and gas volumes, and enhance future exploration targets.
No PNG company has actually done seismic. So as a national oil company, this is our first one as well. We've interpreted data collected by other people, but to actually plan and execute and design where to run and for what purpose, those things come with thinking as to what the end game is, what you want to achieve out of this particular line, why are you running it this way and that way.
He said that once there is a better idea of the oil and gas volumes in these licenses, KPHL can assess the economic feasibility of monetizing the resource and select a development path. Sonk expressed satisfaction in engaging Oilmin, a national company with extensive experience in managing remote field operations in the country. Detailing the planned seismic work, Sonk explained the proposed work in remote areas and will be tele-supported. Seismic line cutting is a labor-intensive activity, and there will likely be 300 to 400 casual laborers engaged by Oilmin during the program.
I've been operating in PNG for 32 years in this field. In the most recent years, we've been able to operate and offer clients a full turnkey solution for seismic surveys, which is very new to PNG. It's the first time a PNG company has been able to offer these services. So with our partners S-Cube, who will be doing the data recording and processing, we are looking forward to bringing in our experience into the seismic survey and also our safety standards, which we pride ourselves on. And we're looking forward to mobilising and delivering a high-level standard of a project.
Oilmen will be responsible for all aspects of the program, including seismic data collection, helicopter support, and medical and security services on site. The seismic program is set to commence this month and is expected to be completed by March 2025. Kumul Petroleum Holdings is actively involved in upstream petroleum exploration and investigating the possibility of commercializing PNG's gas resources in licenses where these discoveries had previously been considered uneconomic stranded fields. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
In enhancing local industry involvement, Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited shared insights into the company's vision for local engagement when awarding of the seismic contract to Oilmin today. This signifies KPHL's dedication to empowering local businesses and building a robust national industry framework.
KPHL Managing Director Wapu Song says as a national oil company, they are committed to partnering with PNG registered and nationally owned companies. When asked what are the long-term goals for KPHL in terms of involving more national companies in its operations.
Our long-term goal is to create a skills-based, experienced companies, basically supporting the industry from exploration, development, down to marketing. So in all aspects of the industry, we want to work with whoever is able to provide a service. Even if they fall short, we can help with training and meeting the gap in the interest of localizing some of the contracts and services to the industry. So that's our objective,
Oilmin's General Manager Fintan Lalo in today's event outlined the company's approach to environmental management for the seismic project.
Part of that project execution plan is all of our HSE standards and procedures that we will be bringing into the project, including an environmental management plan. So that environmental management plan is in accordance with standards such as CEPA that we need to abide to. We would also have reporting back to Kumul Petroleum on a regular basis in accordance with that environment management plan.
The law also addressed potential challenges in the project, particularly workforce readiness.
Some challenges we have in exploration, especially if it has been a long time in between exploration projects, is bringing workforce back into the project, retraining. So I'll take example chainsaw operators that come in. If there's no work for them in exploration, they do go back into other industries, and they have been known to pick up different habits and different standards. So training is key for us before anyone mobilises to the field. Also expectations being managed in community affairs management.
Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
You're watching TV1 News. We'll have more stories after the break. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Prime PNG made.
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy, so bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook, and with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different packed sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
Welcome back. Prime Minister James Marap, in a media statement, called on Papua New Guineans to be wary of misleading information relating to the stringent due process in place for all submissions it receives and approves. Marap clarified that this due process includes a secret ballot that ministers vote in, whose result becomes the accepted decision of the cabinet, with him having no one-man influence or role in the decision-making of cabinet as chair. His response follows reactions by members of the opposition relating to the sale of Envil shares.
Prime Minister James Marap has clarified that the recent sale of the MVIL shares with BSP was the decision of both the boards of MVIL and Kumul Consolidated Holdings and the Minister for State-Owned Enterprises, who brought it to Cabinet with no vested interest. He explained that all submissions that come to Cabinet originate from a sponsoring agency or department that funnels it all the way up through the minister responsible. The Prime Minister clarified that since taking office, the government has introduced something that has never before been done: a secret ballot where ministers vote on all submissions that are presented. He said the government has also introduced a provision in the NEC process called Declaration of Personal Interest, and another provision where any submission made must tick off the key result areas expected from the department or sector. Mr. Marap clarified that the proposal to sell the BSP shares is part of the approach by KCHL to liquidate assets where possible to be able to beef up investments in other utilities such as power and water. Proceeds are earmarked to improve generation and transmission of power in Port Moresby and Lae. Meantime, Governor for West New Britain, Sasindran Mutuvel, has called on the government to commit to the people of PNG that it will prioritize Papua New Guineans in the sale of MVIL's shares in BSP Financial Group. Mutuvel said given that the NEC has approved this decision and is now a foregone conclusion, the next best step is to ensure Papua New Guineans do not lose shareholding in such an important commercial entity. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
NESFUN's 6th Annual Employer Awards, held on July 3rd at Port Moresby's APEC House, celebrated employers who excelled in prioritizing their employees' financial futures. The event, a highlight on NESFUN's calendar, recognized outstanding commitment to superannuation contributions throughout 2023.
On Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024, NESFUN, Papua New Guinea's leading superannuation fund, hosted its 6th Annual Employer Awards in Port Moresby. The event served as a pivotal moment in NESFUN's yearly calendar, dedicated to honoring employers who have demonstrated exceptional commitment to the employees' superannuation throughout the preceding year 2023. The ceremony underscores NESFUN's core mission of promoting financial security and retirement planning among the workforce, recognizing the pivotal role employers play in shaping their employees' financial futures. NESFAN celebrated those who upheld exemplary standards in superannuation management.
We are very aware that before we become the custodians of our workers' funds, that you, the employers, provide the back office processes to commence the superannuation journey. This year, we have found an additional way to reward you, the companies, that are the very backbone upon which we exist.
The ceremony facilitated networking and knowledge exchange among industry leaders, fostering collaboration and innovation in financial planning and employee welfare. Within each category, accolades included Most Compliant Employer, Best Employer with Voluntary Contributions, and distinctions for account maintenance and non-mandatory contributions. The prestigious NESFAN Chairwoman's Award recognized exceptional dedication to superannuation management. NESFAN CEO Rajiv Sharma highlighted the awards as a testament to NESFAN's commitment to transparency, thorough guidelines, and strong employer partnerships. He emphasized the importance of fostering a culture where employers prioritize their employees' long-term financial well-being. The ceremony served as a dynamic platform for industry leaders and members of the business community to network, share knowledge, and collaborate on best practices in superannuation management. It facilitated discussions aimed at driving innovation and excellence in employee financial planning. Susan Oreape, TVWAN News.
More people need more food. This adds pressure on limited land. A researcher at the PNG University of Technology, Paula Kaupa, presented her submission on maintaining soil health at the 7th Science and Technology Conference in Lae, Marap Province.
The 7th Papua New Guinea Science and Technology Conference is underway at the PNG University of Technology in Lae, Marap Province. The last time the science conference was hosted was back in 2016. Among the practicing scientists, researchers, and students slated for the 4-day conference was a researcher from the PNG Science and Technology Council Secretariat, Paula Kaupa, who presented on the role of green manures in sustaining soil health. Green manures are crops that are grown specifically to build and maintain soil facility and structure. The most common type of green manure are legumes such as beans and peanuts.
Population increase, there is pressure. The more people we have, we want more food. It leads to more pressure on the land, the arable land where people can farm. But when you look at the highlands, land is a scarce resource. Nowadays, people are going into commercial farming. They want to utilize the same piece of land, grow something over and over so they can constantly supply to the market. And when they understand this ability of the soil to produce decline. So
Kaupa received her degree in agriculture and science from Unitec in 2005, then did her master's from 2011 to 2014. She joined the secretariat after that, then returned in 2022 to attain a doctorate. She lamented that at the moment, Papua New Guinea does not have a proper record of data in science and technology and research and development, referring to statistics in the field as deficient.
We don't know the state of science and technology and R&D in the country, and the statistics was deficient. We don't have that information at a national level, and that STI indicators, R&D data and statistics is needed for government's planning and monitoring purpose. It's part of RST, PNG Science and Technology Secretariat. Part of our work is to carry out this research capacity assessment to collect those information. So we can present to the government, okay, that's where we are now. What can be done to improve that?
The National Science and Technology Conference, which ran from July 1st to July 4th, provides a platform for practicing scientists, researchers, students, and policymakers to gather, exchange information and experiences and explore opportunities in the different disciplines. Susan Oriape, TV1 News.
Concluding the 2024 Papua New Guinea Resources Week today with the PNG Resources Summit at the Hilton Hotel. The resource sector presented key updates on the country's current economic state, including energy, mining, and new energy initiatives. The summit marks the end of a high-profile week of dialogue, panel discussions, and presentations from private sector organizations, government and state agencies together with not-for-profit organizations, speaking passionately of the work they do in communities nationwide. Today, mining sector updates were heard from the leaders of Oktedi Mining Limited, Ramu Nico Management, Hidden Valley Mine, and New Pogera Limited.
Operating the longest-running open-pit copper, gold, and silver mine in Papua New Guinea, Oktedi Mining Limited is not only 100% nationally owned, but has contributed to Papua New Guinea through its mining activities at Mount Fubilan in the Western Province. Today, OTML's Social Performance and Sustainability General Manager Jesse Pile highlighted the mining company's strategic project that includes tailings storage facility.
Under the previous mine life to 2033, we had engineered waste rock dam. This is in construction at the moment. It was supposed to start in 2023, but due to some other factors and change of priority, we started on the project this time. So the second engineered waste rock dam I mentioned is a second to this one that is in construction at the moment.
Furthermore, Ramu Nico Country Manager Asik Tommy Tomskol spoke on Ramu Nico's focus on building their legacy through Phase 2 of their mine expansion and industrial downstream processing.
The company is planning an expansion. Currently, our SML is around 54 square kilometers. We plan to expand by about another 56 square kilometers. That means that our EL will double in size.
Tomskol says from 2007 to 2023, the company has invested in social responsibility tax and levies worth over 6 million kina. The government does not participate or hold equity in Ramu Nico because the government at the time considered this a high-risk and low-return investment. Meantime, New Pogera Limited's general manager highlighted that one of the mine's biggest operations challenge is law and order.
During the care and maintenance period, law and order continued to deteriorate. With the restart of the mine, there's been a huge influx of criminals into the valley, which is presenting a significant challenge in the mine restart. NPL has one of the largest security teams I've seen on any mine site, with almost 500 personnel, supported by high-tech surveillance and a 3-meter fence around the entire perimeter. Despite this, there has been up to 2,000 illegal miners in the open pit on a daily basis.
Furthermore, McTiernan says under agreements with the state, New Pogera was to run a performance test with the aim of achieving an annualized throughput rate of no less than 5 million tons per annum of ore, calculated on the basis of an average rate of a 30-day period. The throughput performance test was started on 5th May 2024 and successfully completed on 4th June 2024.
And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2598 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2523, $0.3730 Australian dollars, $0.2263 euro, and 40.53 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, all commodities closed today higher except coffee and cocoa. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. You're watching TV1 News. We'll have news from abroad when we come back. Stay tuned.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He loves the Maroons. He loves the Blues. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bungim Yumi.
Open nets.
Mama Flame is story all same.
Me say you seen flame flower long one yem. Me say me Kim Kai Kai belong family belong me. You go more yet.
Man belong me save like him flower balls belong me what them kawa war na spring onion. All pikinini belong me save like him to mas pineapple donut me save walk him lo house. Me make kumu mix him what them cow na karamapim long flower.
Tasty hash browns.
Time is scaling one time all harpela kai kai. Me save kissing more kai kai long all get a toya me tromoy one time flame flower.
You enough making more one time flame flower.
Superstition ain't the way.
Good hands again, and yes, that was broken up.
They've got numbers here. They're going to score. Johnson's going to go close. Johnson's going to score here for the Koreans.
Welcome back. In news abroad, New Zealand is unlikely to resettle its full quota of refugees from Nauru under its 2022 agreement with Australia and faces choices on the future of the pact. A deal struck by previous governments on both sides of the Tasman agreed New Zealand would take 450 refugees from the detention centre between 2022 and 2025. In the first 2 years of the pact, around 210 people have been approved to settle in New Zealand. Only 172 have done so. Australia has transported a number of asylum seekers to Nauru in recent months. The Guardian reported last month there are roughly 85 currently being held in detention, with 15 in community. Those individuals are ineligible to be resettled in New Zealand under the terms of the 2022 deal. New Zealand's agreement to accept asylum seekers granted refugee status comes into focus this week with a first Kiwi delegation visiting Nauru in 6 years. Police have arrested pro-Palestinian protesters who scaled the roof of Parliament House in Canberra, causing the temporary closure of the building's front entrance. The protesters unfurled banners which read "No peace on stolen land" and "Palestine will be free."
here with those protesters now bundled into the back of police paddy wagons and taken away from Parliament House. They caused quite a scene here over the course of about an hour or so that they were continuing their protest on the front facade of Parliament House. They unfurled a number of banners. They were chanting pro-Palestinian slogans and also chanting slogans and chants that were quite critical of the Albanese government and its stance on the Israel-Gaza conflict, going so far as to also throw paper planes down from their precarious vantage point above the front veranda of Parliament House, outlining some of their arguments and some of their claims. The protesters, we understand, are part of a group known as Renegade Activists. It's not clear what sort of connections they have, if any, to other pro-Palestinian causes. We must stress that. Whether or not they are linked to anyone else or completely going it alone does appear to be unclear, but it did lead to a situation where the front of Parliament House was closed to the public for a short while. There are a number of school groups that were out here where they were being turned away while this incident was happening. Staff of the building were allowed in and out, but no one else. But that has now changed, and the building has reopened.
Tell us about the police response, Matt.
Yeah, this is really interesting, Roz, because as we've seen these protesters, they have been arrested, they have been taken away from Parliament House, but there are already questions as to how this incident occurred. There was another protest that happened inside Parliament House a short time before that, and that was to do with coal and gas. So around coal and gas across the country, what impact that was having on climate. Protesters there gluing their hands to the marble pillars of Parliament House, quite unsuccessfully it seems, but it does appear, while those two protests don't seem to be linked, that may well have distracted police and security here in Parliament House, because it is no easy task to get where these people got to on the front of Parliament House. There are multiple security fences. They would have had to scramble across a glass ceiling over the top of Parliament House, so it's not an easy task to be able to get up there, and that's why there are these questions as to how indeed that has happened. We've already heard from a number of MPs who came out the front to have a look, who are already questioning how indeed that occurred. This is quite separate to what we've seen out the front, but I guess it does go to this broader public debate that we are having not only in federal parliament but across the Australian population around the Israel-Gaza conflict. The focus today is very much going to be on what happens in the Senate with the suspended Labor Senator Fatima Payman. It's understood she is considering her future within the Labor Party. She was suspended from caucus earlier this week, just on Sunday in fact, after last week crossing the floor, breaking ranks with her colleagues and voting with the Greens on a motion to recognise Palestinian statehood. That was a departure from the Labor Party's established position there, and she was sanctioned as a result. Senator Payman has since said that she feels she has been exiled by members of her party, and we know that she has been courting new political advisors. She has been speaking to Muslim community groups, and all of that is leading people to speculate that she may be about to cut ties from Labor and go it alone. We haven't heard from Senator Payman today, but this being the final parliamentary sitting day before the long winter break, there is a strong suggestion that we could get news on that issue later today.
Top secret Australian military and intelligence information will soon be stored on a computing cloud under a $2 billion partnership with American company Amazon Web Services. The government has unveiled details of the project while insisting Australia will maintain complete sovereignty over its classified secrets.
The project has been in the works for a couple of years. We were first given some details late last year by the head of the Office of National Intelligence, but we're now getting precise costs and details of how this will operate in Australia. It's essentially a large data sharing initiative. It will involve an electronic computing cloud run by Amazon Web Services, one of the largest tech companies in the world. The government saying it'll be at an initial cost of $2 billion, a partnership between Amazon and the Australian Signals Directorate, which will administer a lot of the data sharing that will will occur inside Australia's intelligence communities, the various spy agencies, as well as the Australian Defence Force. And data is increasingly seen as an important tool in modern warfare, with the large amounts of information that need to be exchanged between various military assets and military partners. There will be a lot of collaboration as well. But what this project will involve is 3 data centres built at secret locations in Australia to store this information, and we're assured that it will remain under Australian sovereignty, though the infrastructure involved is being provided by Amazon, as I say. Let's hear from the Defence Minister first of all, Richard Marles.
Whilst it is a cloud-based environment, I want to make clear that this data will be held in Australia in facilities which are secure and purpose-built for this capability.
The head of the Australian Signals Directorate, Rachel Noble, discussed how her organisation and others are already harnessing this cutting-edge technology to be able to scour through vast amounts of data. So machine learning, artificial intelligence is also a key section of the second pillar of AUKUS. So the idea of getting computers to read through all these vast amounts of data and make conclusions, possibly even areas to be targeted in future operations. There are a lot of ethical questions involved with this as well, and the spy chiefs did talk about how Australia's potential adversaries were already making inroads in this area. You can imagine with a huge data cloud project like this, AI will also be playing a key role. Let's now hear from Andrew Shearer, the head of the Office of National Intelligence.
This will be a game-changing capability for our 10 intelligence agencies. It'll help us collaborate more, integrate more closely, and make sure that we keep pace with our most important partners.
That was Andrew Shearer speaking in Canberra at the announcement of this partnership, $2 billion as we say. It's expected to be operational sometime in 2027. Similar projects are already underway in the United States and the United Kingdom, Australia's AUKUS partners, and the government says there will be a need to recruit around 2,000 people with top secret security clearances to help administer this new data cloud.
New research suggests the mental health of young Australians plummeted around the same time online platforms Snapchat and Instagram emerged. The survey found young women's self-reported mental health scores dropped from 73% to 62% in 2012. The E61 Institute for Economic Research says the findings suggest they've been particularly affected by the proliferation of social media platforms.
These figures come from what's called the HILDA survey, the Household Income and Labour Dynamics Australia survey. It's a longitudinal survey, so it's got a common sample, but it goes back 20 years. So it's an excellent opportunity to see how, on a range of indicators, how individuals fare over time. For the most part, self-reported mental health has been pretty stable over that survey. Except for this one demographic. For young females aged between 15 and 24, up until about 2011 it's fairly stable, and after that it drops pretty dramatically over the ensuing 10 years. And it drops a little bit for men and it drops a little bit for those over the age of 25, but it's something particular to that demographic, and there's something particular to around the time 2011, 2012, when that trend really sets in. We do have to be a bit cautious because we can't, as I say, nail the causal link to social media. We think it might be there, but it's a little hard to be definitive. So I think it's important to be cautious, but clearly the government is looking at things like age verification on social media, and I think that's to the good. But a lot of this won't be solved by government regulation, of course. A lot of this comes down to societal norms, comes down to parental involvement, and it may be that, as with a lot of the big social challenges of the past, this is best solved by getting more information out there in the community and more education for parents about what is appropriate.
We'll have the sporting news up next with Rex. Stay with us.
Digital business.
We help grow your business with secure, reliable and cost-effective ICT solutions. We will manage your technology so you can power your vision for your business with the best solutions to offer. Accelerate your business growth with Digital Business Cloud Solutions with cloud platform services, disaster recovery as a service, and backup as a service. Talk to our cloud solutions experts today. Digital Business. Better solutions for better business.
These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Oh, maybe not.
Bing bang bing, bum bum. Hiya, Mama.
You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Haren Tok Young or roll the scale rice family meal with talk. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's a favorite by miles. Seni Sigola scale rice low scale price. Seni Sigola scale rice low scale price. But you like him?
New Fabuloso multi-purpose cleaner with an irresistible fragrance that lasts all day long, creating a field of flowers in every corner of your home with an irresistible fragrance that lasts and lasts all day long. Fabuloso, irresistible fragrance.
Did you know that you can get the latest updates on what's happening on the DTV app? 1. Open the DTV app. 2. Go to the profile on the upper right-hand corner of your screen and scroll down to push notifications. 3. Turn it on and you're good to receive notifications on the latest sports, TV series, and movies. DTV, your TV on the go.
Welcome back. PNG Swimming Incorporated and the swimming fraternity in the country are excited that 2 PNG swimmers have been approved by World Aquatics as our universality swimmers to compete at the Paris Olympics. Male swimmer Jos Tarere and female swimmer Georgia Leivele are both first-time Olympians.
An elated PNG swimming president, Liz Wells, said the wait is over. Both Jos and Georgia have been very dedicated to their training program to secure a spot, especially over the past 12 months. Wells said their coaches have in place a plan that is devoted to preparation for doing well in the competition. The 2 swimmers have a high regard for performance excellence, good training, and good preparation. Their last competition, competing as a PNG swim team, was at the Oceania Aquatic held on the Gold Coast in April 2024. Wells added they are both motivated and have a vision to do their best in the pool. Jos in the 100-meter freestyle and Georgia Lee in the 50-meter freestyle. Both are actively striving to reach their goal times in the lead-up preparation before departing for the Paris Olympics. They will compete with a positive purpose to swim fast for PNG under the direction of coach Rick van der Vant. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
PNG Kickboxing Federation is set to host one of its biggest events on the calendar, the Last Man Standing, this Sunday in Port Moresby Sir John Guy's Indoor Complex. 4 outside provinces are already in the city, awaiting others as the Federation launched the PNG title belt today. Aiming to select best kickboxers in the country for the World Championship in Spain later this year, the PNG Kickboxing Federations brought kickboxers from around the country to showcase their skills in a bout on Sunday, July 7th in Port Moresby. PNG Kickboxing Federation President Stanley Nandex confirmed
Fighters from 4 provinces have arrived in the city, while others are expected to arrive before the weekend. Nandex today unveiled the PNG title belt, the new kickboxing title belt which fighters will box hard for. The federation is inviting interested individuals and families who wish to have weekend time out to come and watch the kickboxing action at the Sejong Guys Indoor Complex. In this event, both male and female kickboxers will be bouting for the titles. Kickboxing fans are urged to come along and support their provincial teams. The climax of the 2024 National Capital District Schools Rugby League competition, with the staging of its finals this weekend, is a testament to the good leadership and partnership that exists between SRL and various stakeholders. NCD Schools Rugby League President Arnold Gende, who's been at the forefront of keeping the program going through adversity over the past 8 years, was humbled and honored to see all the hard work and sacrifice coming to fruition, culminating in the NCD-RSL Grand Final launch on Wednesday, July 3rd. Gende, on behalf of his executive, expressed gratitude towards all their partners and sponsors for their support and commitment that is adding value to the lives of the young boys and girls. PNG Hunters 5'8" Sakyas Komati will return to the Hunters bench in this weekend's match against Ipswich Jets. Komati sustained a shoulder injury while playing for the...
The Western Highlander was back in the fray after he was sidelined for almost a month due to a shoulder injury. Komati got the opportunity last week, a little rusty, starting off the bench, but working really hard at training this week to retain his spot against North Devils.
Last week we played well in first 40, and then we kept them scoreless, and they scored only one before the half time. So, and then we came in the second half. There was a lot of rush, and then the boys are not patient, so we didn't complete our sets. And then jumping in the middle to be extra 5'8.5" is also a tough job, but yeah, I managed to it, and it's my first time too. So probably, like I said earlier, I do what the team needs to make them better for the year and the team.
Given his versatility, Komati can play anywhere in the middle whenever the coach puts him. He said it's always tough coming back from injury, but pleased with the work of Jamie Mavoko and Finley Glare, who are doing a great job. Komati, though yet to make full recovery, is being closely monitored by Coach Paul Ayton, apart from fellow 5'8" Joshua Lau, still in the casualty ward, recovering from an ankle injury.
It's good, a lot of ups and downs during the season. I went through a lot of injuries still going on, and then I was off for a couple of weeks, and then I came back. But it's very hard to come back in the team when you are giving opportunities to the young one, and I see the teams, they taking up the role, and it's hard for comeback, but you have to fight hard to come back. But finally I earned my spot, so I do what the team needs. So either they shift me anywhere I can play, and provide what the team needs.
As a Western Highlander himself, Komati said it's a privilege playing for his local franchise, the Mount Hagen Eagles, and will always make himself available to put on the yellow and blue. But for now, his focus is getting back into the Hunters' starting lineup.
Mavoko, Finley, everyone's doing a great job. Like I have said earlier, they're taking up the role, so it's good they're coming up and taking role and do what the team needs. So it's great to see them. But Mavoko is also good. Josh Lau is also good, and Finley Glare is a young man coming up to say he's also good. And it's up to coach for decide what's better for the team to, it's every week in and out. They're preparing well for the 2 points. We are on a crucial time too, so we're on top 8. If we lose, then we're going to go down to 11 or 10 something. If we win, we're going to maintain our top spot on 8. So yeah, probably it's up to coach. He always make better decisions, so I think it's going to we're going to decide.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
30 rugby league teams from various education institutions in NCT will converge at the Sir John Guy Stadium this weekend for the grand final of the 2024 NCT Schools Rugby League competition. The three-day rugby league feast will kick off Friday, 5th July to Sunday, 7th in the under-15, under-17, under-19 boys and under-16 and under-18 girls. A big crowd is expected to turn up to support their school teams.
The Sir John Guy Stadium will be buzzing with future rugby league stars when the 30 teams, boys and girls, meet to challenge each other for the 2024 NCT Schools Rugby League title in 5 divisions. Day 1 Friday will kick off at 10 a.m. in the under-15 boys, Bomana Primary versus Yabuna Koba Primary, followed by under-16 girls, Murata Primary versus Yabuna Koba Primary, under-17 boys, St. Peter's Primary versus Koyari Park Secondary, under-18 girls, Laloki Secondary versus Northeast Academy, before the under-19 boys clash between Laloki Secondary and De La Salle. On Friday's schedule in the girls under-16 division, we'll see 2 new schools this year, Yabuna Koba Primary School and Morata Primary battle it out for the title. Yabuna Koba captain Helen Veretti said as captain she is excited for her team to make the grand final. Helen said they have been training hard and well prepared for the Morata girls who they beat in the normal season.
I'm so glad for my grand final with Morata, playing with Morata. We've been training well for almost 1 month for our finals.
Morata Primary captain Kipona Sil said they're also prepared to give their opponents a strong game and hopefully get a win.
Yeah, we're pretty confident that we'll beat them. We had some tough trainings and yeah, we are very prepared for that.
In the under-19 boys grand final tomorrow, an exciting showdown is expected between Tokorara Secondary and De La Salle in the main game. Tokorara, led by captain Leno Simha, said this is a big game for both teams who have met before during the pool games. Leno said they beat De La Salle in their last 3 games, but won't be expecting an easy game tomorrow.
Yeah, the big game is coming on. We're looking forward for. Sorry, we won't play the Lalokis. We played the La Sallians.
Oh, De La Salle, okay, yeah,
yeah.
right.
We've been playing with them 3 games, and they are looking forward to win us, but we are looking forward to win that game.
Opposing captain John Goom from De La Salle admitted it's been a tough season for them, but very happy to make the final. John said it won't be an easy game against the Tokorara boys, but excited for the rematch.
So far, we played really tough game and we come this far. It's about the teamwork. All the boys have put in their effort and we played and come this far.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
5 PNG athletes are at the Gold Coast preparing for the annual Gold Coast Half Marathon and 10-kilometer road race which take place this weekend.
Sune Kogel, Dulu Goye and Ongin Awa will run in Saturday's 21.1-kilometer half marathon which starts and finishes at Southport. Monica Kolwa and Mary Tenge will run the Southern Cross University 10K race on Sunday. Grade 12 student Awa joined the group 2 weeks ago. These road races mark the culmination of the Oceania Championship program. Kagel and Goye were both in good form in Suva last month, clocking just over 33 minutes for the 10,000-meter race, and they aim to get close to Sapala Yao's national half-marathon record of 1 hour 11 minutes set on this course in 2010. For Awa, this is her first outing over the distance to gain experience in this event ahead of the 2025 Pacific Mini Games. The 2024 Oceania Championship Half Marathon is incorporated into the event, and athletes from around the region are expected to join the 30,000 runners who will participate in the various races, which include the full marathon, half marathon, 10-kilometer and 5-kilometer races. For Tenge and Kaloa, this period of distance training is designed to give them a good base training
ahead of the major domestic competitions later this year. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
That's all we have in sports. Marisila.
Thanks, Rex. We'll now have the weather forecast. Southern, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of rain over western and Gulf provinces. Port Moresby cloudy with few showers or drizzles and possible thunderstorm. Momase, isolated showers and thunderstorm. Lae mostly cloudy with some rain showers and possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with possibility of flooding over the autonomous region of Bougainville. Lorengau and Kavieng, some rain showers and possible thunderstorm. And Highlands, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of rain. Goroka, Barnes and Kundiawa partly cloudy with few showers. Coral Sea, seas rough with southeast winds of 20 to 33 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas moderate with southeast to easterly winds of 15 to 20 knots. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru, to Kiwai Islands, to Kerema, to Yule Island, to Hood Point, to Samarai Islands, and waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel and all Milne Bay Islands, and waters of Cape Vogel to Huon Gulf to Finchafan, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters, rising to 2 to 3 meters along warning areas. Waters of New Britain, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters, reaching 2 to 2.5 meters along the western parts, and waters of Medan to Wewak to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 1 to 2 meters. And that wraps up the news tonight. Have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.